right, good evening. At 7 o'clock, we'll call this meeting of June 1, 2020 to order. The first thing we have to do is our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation. And Mr. Ham, you're doing the invocation, is that correct?
I am.
That's what Laura sent me a note, said Councilmember Ham will be doing the invocation. So Councilmember Ham, could you proceed, sir?
Heavenly Father, tonight we're gathered to conduct the business of our city at the same time that we have people marching and coming to the city to express their concerns and their grievances about a egregious act that took place recently in our country, one that all of us find despicable and we're not proud of. We ask your guidance as we move forward in both this meeting and as we address the needs and the events that take place, that we do so with the best intentions and that we do nothing to perpetuate the situation any worse than it is. We ask that you give guidance to our nation as a whole to try to bring about justice for the situation that happened and take care of this city, keep it as it is, and make us a better person. In your name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, sir. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
to
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we've got the roll call.
Mayor Allen.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Broadway.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Present.
Councilmember Pollack.
Present.
Councilmember Matthews.
Present.
Councilmember Ham.
Here.
Councilmember Aycock.
Here. All right, we're all here. Next, we got the approval of the minutes of May 4th, 2020.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of work session and regular session of May 4th.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Minutes are approved. Presentations, we have none. Next, we got public comment period. Is there anybody who wants to speak? Melissa, can you? Huh?
They're out there.
Public comment?
You have to start over. Melissa, your clock's running kind of fast.
I gotta figure out which button switch.
Can you fast forward?
No. You guys are dead.
It'd be like 3, 1.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, my name is Ariel. I am the organizer of the protest today.
Okay.
I do want to start by saying I was a little bit offended earlier. I was told to come down here and talk at 5, so I thought I was going to be doing this at 5 o'clock. And when I was met out there, I was kind of told that it was a little, just kind of wrong to have it on the same day as the city council. And just as a voice for the people, it's just kind of like, it just seems like the city's kind of, okay, well, we need to have our meeting and then you guys can have your protest. But in my eyes, as somebody that was out there protesting, you know, it doesn't matter about anything else other than we're fighting for people's lives, you know, and I don't know if y'all agree with me. You know, I don't know y'all's opinions on the situation that has been happening. But I do feel like Goldsboro is an amazing community and I see that today. And like I said earlier, I'll be the first one to say that I'm not super educated on what goes on in here. I just kind of do my own thing. I'm a mom, I'm a full-time student, I work full-time, you know, so I'm just kind of making sure I'm getting through what I got going on. But that's selfish of me to do that in a community where y'all are willing to listen to what we have to say. So I do want to say I was slightly offended by being told, you know, that it needed to be organized better. But I just feel like in a time like this, it doesn't matter. And if there was ever anything that happened like that in our city, I would hope that y'all would understand too that at the moment of the protest, nothing else matters but us being heard. You know, so we are trying to make a difference. And like I said, a lot of stuff that's going on in other states is not happening here at home. But you know, there are people that feel like they've been injustice by the police, and I just feel like as a city council or just as a city in general, we need to figure out ways to make sure that everybody is held accountable. You know, and I know there's criminals out here. I'm not saying that every black person is innocent. I know that they're not, you know, but I do feel like if there are any injustices, we need to figure out ways for the police to be held accountable every single time. I was just looking up a couple statistics, and across the whole United States, in just 2019, there was 1,099 people that were killed by the police, and 99% of those officers got off with nothing. And I just don't want Goldsboro to be one of those cities, you know, so I do feel like sometimes if there's any way to implement like training for high stress situations, or, you know, throughout the years do like a mental test to see where some people's minds are at. Because you start one way and then you get in bad habits, and then, or you follow, you know, follow the status quo, I guess. And so it would be awesome to just be a part of seeing a change like that. Like I said, it's kind of hard to do that in a city where we don't have murders happening, you know, as bad as it is everywhere else. But, you know, I stand behind what we did today. I think it was the perfect timing. And I would like to continue to be educated on what goes on in the community, because after today, like, I really want to be a part of the community. So hopefully you guys will see me a whole lot more than just today. But
Were you here last night?
I was not, actually. I didn't know there was one last night.
Well, they
until,
behaved really good last night,
yeah.
so we want you to behave really good tonight.
Well, I mean, we just walked around downtown about 3 times,
Thank
and
you.
everybody's been pretty emotional. You know, no one's.
Well, it's an emotional issue, it really.
Yeah,
And if
so-
somebody made you uncomfortable, I'm sorry, because none of us
Yeah.
would have cared, I mean, when you do it, I mean.
Yeah.
So,
And I just want to applaud you for what your advocacy. That's actually what I teach at school, public safety, and we talk about these issues a lot. But I guess my next question is, once we organize, what's the next step? I mean, transitioning through cities, I mean, and protesting, when we don't have a follow-up moving forward. Because
Right.
I can guarantee you, half the people in this room don't know the man's name that just got killed jogging.
Right.
The consistency loses its momentum when there's not a follow-up. So in also with the organization, there needs to be a contingency plan to move forward.
Right.
To keep the community aware and not lose the momentum. So
I do
I'll
think-
give you my information, anything,
Yeah.
you know, but like I said, that's the grounds of the effort is the organization. More happens behind the scenes, as you know, historically, than before they even went to the streets.
Right. I just
So that's
believe-
where it takes place.
I do think, you know, today was my first event, and it turned out pretty amazing, I'd say. I don't know, I'm assuming y'all didn't see it, but it was a beautiful thing, and that all came about off of social media. And for me, being young, you know, social media is going to be my way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if there's anything, like if I do attend a city council meeting and there's ideas or like opportunities that y'all can give to the community, I would love to be able to post that again on social media. Or I just think organizations and city council maybe should have like a social media that they can talk through, because that's honestly how word gets around these days. Like there's no way, everybody's young now, you know, so, or even old people have social media. So,
I'm glad you went back and said that.
but I think social media is the way to go. I can't say right now, like, what the next thing I want to do, because I don't know. I literally posted about this yesterday at 6:30 p.m. Like, it just kind of happened. But I would definitely, I want to move forward, you know, but it has to all feel comfortable at home before we can go anywhere else, because if it's not comfortable at home, we really don't have a message to send to anybody else.
Thank you so much, young lady. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you.
everything.
Leave Melissa your contact information.
Okay.
So before you go though, I do want to apologize that you felt offended. I am certain that that was not the intention
Yeah.
of the conversation or the message.
Right.
As an elected official, to me, there's a level of accountability that we haven't done for our elected officials, and we need to be out front. We need to support our citizens and our residents, and what better way to do that than to be able to walk with you
Right.
and to be shoulder to shoulder. So, you know, communication and organization I applaud you for what you did. You
Thank
are
you.
brave, and everybody that marched with you, it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
So keep doing what you're doing, but I apologize personally for you being offended. That was
Okay.
not the intention of the
Thank
message,
you.
I know for sure.
I might just be in my emotions right now, but
It's okay.
Thank you for that.
No, thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Melissa, look, let me get the next person.
Don't mind if you'll write it down. Thank you, ma'am. Name and phone number, please. He said contact information.
How are you, young man?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good to see you.
Nice to see y'all. Good to
You
see
too.
y'all.
As well.
Pray all is well. I'm
So you have
Charles.
3 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Probably wouldn't take 3 minutes. I'm Charles Brody. I'm a native from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Could y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. In 2018, in November, I had 3 vehicles stolen out of my yard. They found out who the person that stole the cars were. No arrest has been made. I have spoke with the mayor about it. He is aware of the situation, and he helped try to speed things up. It didn't speed up. However, it got sent to the DA's office as an investigative file because they did not want to make an arrest, even though it was grounds to make an arrest. And my question is, why weren't there an arrest made?
I don't have any.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go to the police station. I've been there.
If you give her your name and contact number in, then we'll check it tomorrow.
Yeah, I've been talking to the chief, by the way.
Well, what'd he say?
Let's just run to the DA, and if he says he's not gonna prosecute, then we're not gonna make an arrest, no way. Which is not the proper chain of commands anyway.
I mean, I don't know why I had with it. I don't know.
I
Let me
know.
check it tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody been saying that I'll get back with you, and never do, so
Okay.
I'm here.
Well, I'm sorry that that has happened to you.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, we'll be able to figure something out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I promise, somebody's going to at least call you back.
Oh, okay.
We can do that.
And I can, because I've been speaking with the brother here. And like I said, it seems like, I'm not a lawyer, but what the runaround has been with him, he's been dealing with for, like I say, 2 years. So if any way I can convey that message again to try to help you, because he's been in conversation with me about this situation. And like I said, there's 2 sides to every story. But since you've addressed it publicly, then I'll do my part, since you're one of my constituents as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Melissa, will you give me the contact information, please? Are you finished?
Yes,
sir?
I'm done.
All right, well, give her your
Thank you.
information,
Thank you for your time,
and we'll try to
Thank
help
you.
you.
and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
If you'll just give me your name and your number so we can get in contact with you. Thank you.
Come on in, ma'am.
Hello, welcome. Yes.
Yeah, but hold on 1 second, let her set the clock, okay? So you're, there you go. There you go.
Hello, my name is Ariana King, and I'm 17 years old, and I would like to address a couple of issues that's in my community.
Well, the past few days, we have been going through a lot, even though that,
Get closer to the mic. Yeah.
we have been going through a lot of issues in our community, and I just wanted to address some of the issues in our community. First off, police brutality. Police brutality has been a problem for Goldsboro for a little while, and it's not been disclosed, but we're out here today marching to speak on police brutality all over the country. And we're not just speaking for Minneapolis, we're not speaking for DC, we're not speaking for Virginia, we're speaking for us. And being a minority in this community is kind of hard for me because it's like I have to pick sides. And personally, I don't like to pick sides because that's not me. I come from both parties, I'm mixed. And being a minority is hard for me because I just can't pick which side to be on. So I express both sides, and being able to protest peacefully and get my point across and be able to come here today and speak on what I feel needs to be spoken on, I greatly appreciate this opportunity. And I would just like to say thank you for your time listening, and Yeah, so I am 17 years old, and I'm expecting a daughter soon. So I just want my community to be able to be safe for my daughter being brought into this world from the next generation. So that means me being able to protest, walk down the street, and let my voice be heard, then that's something that I have to do. I'm not going to create violence. I'm not going to uproar the community because that's just not me. I just want the city that I live in to be able to come together and unite as one instead of always having to fight with each other. Because it's two different sides, and it's like nobody's hearing us. Nobody hears us until we make an uproar or we start being violent. Nobody hears us. This protest today was to give us stability in our community. And I greatly appreciate your time for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. King.
Thank you for what you're doing. Is there anybody else?
Yeah.
Sheila. Sheila Brown.
Hey.
Hello.
Right here, ma'am,
Okay, I've never been in here before. I'm nervous.
Welcome.
Okay, you doing good.
So, hi y'all.
Hello.
I'm Trinity. I'm 19 years old. I've been staying here for about 4 years now.
There you go.
I've been staying here about 4 years now. I'm originally from New York. But ever since I came here, I noticed it's like a lot of things going on. And not even within the state, but all over the world. And it's to the point now, as me being young as I am, I don't feel safe at all. I really don't. It's just a lot. And I can't do the things that I want to do. Can't go out unless something happens. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm pretty sure you done heard this already. I know y'all have, because y'all been doing this for a long time. But, yeah, I just feel unsafe. I really do. And I feel like nothing is going to change because it's been happening for a long time. If it were to change, we wouldn't be going through this now. That's just how I feel.
When you say you feel unsafe, what do you mean?
Within Goldsboro, basically. Like, if I want to go to the store, if I want to hang out with friends, it's just a lot. It's like basically everything. I have to watch my back 24/7. If I don't watch my back, who else going to?
Well, today, that's something that I think all of Goldsboro is hearing you today, that you deserve to be safe. You deserve to go anywhere that you need to go in this community. And we have to do something socially here. There's a lot that's missing in our city. And I'm honest enough to say it, We're not unified enough here. Today we're seeing unity, but we have to keep that unity. And you may meet some great people today while you're out here. So try to make some connections, And, we're going to be looking out, making sure that we can do as much as we can with programs that we have available already.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You make your stay safe out there now.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey.
How you doing, young man?
Good, how are you?
All right, good to see you today.
That's good. Good to see you. How you doing?
Doing well.
That's fine. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir. What you doing?
Well, today I came to speak on the frustrations I have with, I'm not, because I'm a kid, I grew up here, and it kind of hurt when stuff like this happen, and I see cops like treat me and my people as if like we not even people. And I've been treated as if I'm not even a person by Goldsboro Police Department. Like, I've been thrown in bush, and you can ask me, I have a clean record. I've been in trouble once, and that was my freshman year of high school. After that, no trouble at all. And I've been abused by my own Goldsboro Police Department, and it's not fair. And I just want to know, why is it just us that is stuff like that? Because I've been around a certain demographic or a certain race of people and seen them do something crazy, and I didn't even do half of craziness that they did, and it was taken out on me in a completely different way. And I just want to know why.
Well, I think that we can never say why something happened. Sometimes it's just part of your life. Sometimes it's just part of what's going to make you in the future. You can take that situation and you could, be strong about it. And like you're doing today, you're being very strong. You're addressing the issue, and just it will help somebody else. What you just told us. I mean, I've been through some experiences too as a black male, as a young black male and a old black male. I've experienced some things. And, I commend you for coming here today. We do have a program, it's Kalila. We implemented that about, I think, a year and a half ago. And so that is training police how to go out into the community and be able to relate with people from all walks of life. So we're definitely trying to do some things that's going to, heal some wounds. I mean, it's a lot of mistrust on both sides. Sometimes when law enforcement sees someone that looks like you, they kind of don't trust, your behavior, but we got to show them otherwise. That's why today I'm so proud of y'all. You're coming out, you're protesting, there's no violence going on.
Yeah, I
And that's
couldn't let
what
that
we need.
happen. No, we won't let that happen. We told everybody from the jump, we're not doing that because that's not going to get us nowhere but a step backwards after taking one forward. So it's not going to do nothing.
Tell me your name.
Corey Owens.
Mr. Owens, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate
I
it.
can tell that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Does anybody else say? Good evening, sir. Come on to the podium.
Thank you.
How are you today, sir?
Doing good. How about you?
All right, good to see you today.
I just want to start by saying that everybody saw what happened on the news, and that just can't be accepted.
Can't hear. Get close to the mic.
I know everybody saw what happened on the news, and you see what's going on in the world, but it's been going on for generations now. This is nothing new. I know sometimes my brother gets stopped at night. He drives a nice car. He gets profiled consistently, harassed for what? You just why? And just, when the police break the law, who do we call? So we should have some type of safety in place, Like, I shouldn't walk down the street and feel like I'm going to get profiled by anybody. I have my hands up, I'm following every order you're telling me. I don't feel as if I should be harassed. I feel like what just happened should never happen again, that this is enough.
I agree.
That's all I had to say, really.
We appreciate you coming here.
I appreciate you all. Thank you.
We appreciate your positivity out there.
And they can be treated the same. Thank you. And one.
Is there any more, Dave? You mean one more? Come on to that podium, ma'am. And pull that microphone down where you can talk to it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit short.
Welcome.
Can I just pull it out?
Sure.
Okay. I would like to start by introducing myself. My name is Marina Capps. I work with First Choice Bail Bonds. I'm a bail agent. So I understand from Goldsboro community's perspective of things and why everybody is so frustrated. And I also understand from an arresting authority's perspective as well. And I just want to be in here to voice my opinion as far as I don't believe that we have a single officer in Wayne County that's out to hurt anybody. But I do believe that some officers do need better training. I believe that a lot more need to be held accountable for their actions. I believe that wrong is wrong, right is right, and we have to come together in order to stop the wrong. I know when me and my team go out and we have to go arrest people, we go out there, we try to get in and get out and do things as safely as possible without causing any harm. This is something that all law enforcement, probation officers, and everything need to practice. I understand, like I said, their frustration is the fact that they don't feel like they're being heard. And I get that. I'm of minority myself. I'm Mexican American, and I've never dealt with, police brutality of my own, but I've bonded people out of jail and I've heard of it. And it's so heartbreaking to bond somebody out and them say, I'm scared to call the law, I'm scared to call the police. That's sad, that, you know, we live in a community where that's what it is. People are scared to call law enforcement because they're scared for their lives. And I think that's something that, as a community, we have to come together and we have to change it.
Thank you.
That's what I have to say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay safe out there.
Trying to put y'all's microphone back, right?
Yeah, and tore that microphone up.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.
Hello,
Hey.
how are you?
Already. Took a minute for me. Good evening, council. I'm here tonight to discuss, on March 20th, I received an email from the DCDG, which basically stated that the city of Goldsboro was implementing an accommodation to help businesses that were going to do takeout service due to COVID-19. It was a service that definitely worked for my business and other restaurants that was on the block with me as we did takeout. On Thursday of last week, I got an email from the DCDG stating that the service, the accommodation had been suspended because we were mid phase 2, and that they would be picking up the cones, and that was kind of it. It threw me a little bit because we're still in the midst of phase 2. Phase 3 hasn't even started. Our numbers have increased, and we're still using the service. So I responded back to the DCDG and asked, you know, who made this decision? You know, why would you not talk to the restaurants or the people to see if anyone is still in need of the service? I didn't get an email back from the DCDG, but I got an email back from Mr. Salmon, and he addressed Councilman Williams, which was a little surprising to me because I absolutely sent the email. And he said that he made the decision because the stay-at-home order had been lifted, and pretty much, you know, if you have any other further questions, you can reach out to me. I sent the email back to him and let him know that I was the one who sent the email. And it makes me feel a certain type of way because I've addressed issues before, and every time I address an issue, the issue is always directed to Mr. Williams. For example, there were some citizens that had some concerns about how, you know, Black History Month was being portrayed. And so I said, well, you know, I'll go into the DCDG and I'll ask the question, like, is there more images? And this was just a couple of years ago. Is there more images that we could kind of put out, and more information, more programs, more things that we can do? Pleasant conversation. We laughed, we joked. It was only me. The next day, Councilman Williams receives an email via the city manager at the time. It was not Mr. Salmon. And he said, Councilman Williams came in yesterday. He was angry. He was upset. He never was in the room. And so my concern with that is the situation that happened with Mr. Floyd is the end result. There is a mentality that drives that type of hatred, that type of biasness, that type of racism. And we, each and every one of us, have to be careful of the stereotypes that we water and causing them to grow. I've seen it quite a lot here at the council, here within the city, and it always makes me feel some kind of way because I fear for his life, because he has been painted as, I'm sorry, and I'll finish, because he's been painted as this evil man. So I hope you gentlemen don't just pacify these people that's out here protesting. Look within yourself and commit to truly making a difference if you want us all unified. Thank you.
Thank you.
And please consider extending the cone service because it does help us.
You're saying we're a car can pull up and get out and get picked up?
Right, exactly.
And we quit doing that? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So if I could comment, there's no ordinance, we looked into it with the chief of police, that allows you to block off a parking space. When we were at a stay-at-home order, in order to help the businesses, it was requested to put cones out so you could do takeout orders. And then when you go to phase 2 and all businesses are open, I thought it should go back to business as normal. Now, obviously, there's still takeout business and such, and less sitting in restaurants, but there's nothing that says in your ordinances that you can cone off or mark off spaces. So.
Okay, so question, we've never really been in a pandemic either before. So
Right.
can we create
You sure,
an ordinance?
sure, you can create an ordinance to
Okay.
do what you want to do, but you should probably discuss as to how many spaces you can mark off.
Okay.
Who's authorized to do that, and then the police could enforce that if you want in a downtown area, across the city, whatever's in your jurisdiction. There's just nothing out there right now. So I told Ms. Moore that she could put a sign out, but the police could not enforce it. It's kind of where we're at.
And so that was another thing. We have to be careful when we say, well, I just told you. It's finding solutions. We want every one of you that are leaders within this city to find solutions to it. Just don't, well, that's just the way that it is, and so what? This is what creates these problems. So I was just confused by that because he implemented that accommodation. And midpoint, I think it would have been helpful if you would have talked to the businesses to say, hey, are you guys still using this? Or this one's not using it, but this one still is using it. Just, I don't want to do anything that's going to put any more stress on the Goldsboro PD. I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying it was something that people benefited from. A lot of businesses downtown are having trouble. Some, I'm hearing, won't even open again. So I think we should do everything we absolutely can, if we truly mean we're in this together, to make sure businesses can survive.
We'll relook and look at it.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else there? You keep doing it like that.
I know you keep saying one more.
Oh.
You keep saying one more.
But he keeps saying it.
Hey, how are you today?
Hello, hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. My name is Rodney Robinson, citizen here of Goldsboro. And I just wanted to speak on behalf of the people that are outside, my fellow brothers and sisters. I want to say that I stand on behalf of experiences that I have seen and have been a part of, problems and issues in our city where I feel as though there was injustice. I do want to say that the community cries out for a bridge of trust. They cry out for a bridge of knowing that the people care. It's all about, your body language. It's all about what you say and how you say it. And the people want to feel that compassion from the police department, from the leaders of the city. And there are some issues that could be done better here in our city, starting with the county commissioners, the city council. And, we had an incident a couple months ago where there was a young lady that was punched in the face by a sheriff. And, she took her charges. Also, she lost her scholarship. And the officer is still working. And that goes to the problem of, can we trust our system? Can we trust these people that are behind these offices, that have these titles? Can we trust them to know that they're doing everything that they should do to make sure things are taken care of? And I just feel like we should all come together and attack the root of the problem, which is finding out if people are doing the right thing, that are in the offices or in the seats, if they're doing the right thing to ensure that all our citizens are respected, all our citizens are taken care of, and making sure that all our citizens feel as though they are a part of this city and they feel that someone cares. They feel like their mayor cares about them, or their councilman representative care about them. It's just all about, how we talk, how we speak, how we address ourselves to the community, because these are the people that gets our votes. These are the people that, enter it up to our schools. These are our people that want to be the future mayors and the future leaders of the city. But if they see chaos within the leadership of the city, how can they stand up and want to take up that place? So I feel as though the city definitely need to work better at communicating with the citizens. And I pray that I could do something to help the citizens communicate better with the city as a community activist in Goldsboro. I'm not gonna stop, I'm not gonna end. I stand in the place now of Pinky Jacobs, and it's time for a change within our city. It's been time for a change, and I'm gonna keep on speaking, I'm gonna keep on marching, keep on praying, keep on writing letters, keep on coming to the meetings until somebody hears us. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rodney.
Rodney? Thank you, buddy.
David? David?
That's it?
Sure.
Saw Sylvia Barnes out there.
She never come in to talk.
She left a long time ago. She left a while ago.
She had to go.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to end the public comment period time. We're going to move to the consent agenda. Mr. Manager?
Yes, sir. Consent agenda items B through F, with the exception of D, are presented for your consideration.
I make a motion that we approve consent agenda items B through F with the exception of item D.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Allen,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem Broadway,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Councilmember Kolak.
Yes.
Councilmember Mackey.
Yes.
Councilmember Ham.
Here.
Councilmember Aycock.
Here.
All right,
Yes.
Consent agenda is approved. Next, we got items requiring individual action, none. Next, we got the city manager report.
Sir, I'd just like to thank our finance director for doing a great job in the presentation of our budget next year. Look forward to further discussions on that, and also for the citizens who came up to speak this evening. Thank you.
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right, next we got a resolution expressing appreciation by Thomas Collins as an employee of the city of Goldsboro for 19 years. And Councilmember Broadway is going to read that.
This is resolution number 2020-37, resolution expressing appreciation for services rendered by Thomas Collins as an employee of the city of Goldsboro for more than 19 years. Whereas Thomas Collins retired on April 1, 2020 as a police officer, the Goldsboro Police Department, the city of Goldsboro, with more than 19 years of service. And whereas Thomas began his career on December 20th, 2000 as a police officer with the Goldsboro Police Department, whereas on November the 18th, 2015, Thomas was assigned to the K-9 unit with the Goldsboro Police Department, where he served until his retirement. And whereas Thomas has proven himself to be a dedicated and efficient public service who gained the admiration and respect of his fellow workers and the citizens of the city of Goldsboro. And whereas the mayor and city council of the city of Goldsboro are desirous on behalf of themselves, city employees, and the citizens of the city of Goldsboro to express to Thomas Collins their deep appreciation and gratitude for the service rendered by him to the city over the years. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and city council of the city of Goldsboro, North Carolina, that we express to Thomas our very best wishes for success, happiness, prosperity, and good health in his future endeavors. This resolution shall be incorporated into the official minutes of the city of Goldsboro and shall be in full force and effect from and after this first day of June 2020. I move for adoption.
You don't have to, it's a resolution, so we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mayor, we do need a motion.
It's a resolution versus a proclamation.
Oh, yeah, okay, forgive me.
Second.
All right, you got a second, any discussion?
Thank
All in
you.
favor, say aye. Good. Thank y'all.
I made that mistake.
Okay, so next we got council member comments. Mr. Aycock?
I just want to say that I agree with the people who are outside marching today, that, they have to be heard. And, peaceful protests are always a good way of doing it. I also want to say that what I found happened in Minneapolis last week to be totally deplorable. And I wish to never, ever see it again.
You finished?
Yep.
On that subject, I spoke my comments in a prayer, but I also like to make another comment. I'm going to read it. During the last 5 years, many of our businesses have opened as a result of a renewed confidence in the future of downtown Goldsboro. COVID-19 virus has hit these businesses hard. Recognizing the financial impact of this virus, the Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation established a grant fund of $15,000 to be distributed to businesses as determined by the executive board. and they submitted, business submitted applications for grants. The board issued grants to 20 businesses downtown and in and around this area, not on Center Street necessarily. It's important to note that the $15,000 was not taxpayer money. In other words, it did not come out of the general fund. These funds were derived from the activities planned, executed, and supported by all the volunteers of the organization. So I just want to mention that they gave monies, different amounts, to certain businesses to assist them during this time, and it did not come from taxpayers' funding.
All right, good deal. Thank you, sir. Ms. Francis?
So I wasn't going to say anything because it is extremely difficult to verbalize how my heart feels about what is happening in the world and what's happening here in Goldsboro. So just know that it matters to me. My heart is with you. I will continue to fight with you and for you, not just as an elected official, but as a citizen, and as someone who can identify to what you feel. I do want to commend our young people, because as I looked out in the audience or in the group of protesters today and even yesterday, the pack was led by ambitious young people who want to live. And it was phenomenal to see that. So I just want to challenge specifically everybody on this board to do your part. We should be out in front, leading the pack, standing up for what is right, even if it's not popular, even if it is not favorable amongst our personal groups. We should do the right thing. And not only is that challenge for you as councilmen, it's for the citizens of Goldsboro. So there is gold in Goldsboro. You've heard me say it a lot of times. So thank you, be safe, and have a good night.
And you need to work on your communications board, it sounds to me like. Because I think there's probably a big need.
Can you speak into the mic, Mary Allen? I didn't hear you.
Brandy, you need to work on your communications board that you're going to put together, because it sounds like there's a lot of need.
Duly noted. I look forward to your participation.
Yeah, I just want to chime in on what everybody else has said and continue to pray for the nation, because the world is seeing this, not just the United States, the whole world is seeing what's happening. And we don't want history to repeat itself, which we're starting to see this slowly doing. The thing I express mostly is working from the ground up, being consistent with our momentum, not just having something that's going to fizzle out. That's part of organization. Structure and organization is key, is a key element in any movement. First step is voting, which I encourage everybody to start from the ground level and be an active part in the voting process, because a lot of this would be avoided if we had people in positions that we could vote in office on the local, not just a federal level, that could vet these employees more. But on a good note, I like to say in Goldsboro, on a local level, I just want to thank Rebuilding Broken Places again. This is week 2. In the food overages they've donated to the elderly. So in many cases, a lot of people have been fed. So want to thank them on that effort, and just to put out the dates and times. Woodcrest food distribution is at 11 o'clock. Lincoln Homes is at 11:30, and West Haven is at 12. They're asking all the people in the communities to come to the community centers in those respective areas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to echo all the other comments, but also to say that I'm just extremely proud of the city of Goldsboro and our people. The restraint they showed last night, and also the discipline they've shown, not only as we go through this evolution, but also what we've seen in the COVID crisis. People have stuck together, and we'll get through this thing together, and it's crazy times, but I appreciate the discipline, respect, and just we've got to take care of each other. Goldsboro is a great town. Let's keep it that way. Thank you.
Mr. Williams?
Where do we begin here? I think we begin with just healing, with loving on each other despite where we come from, socially, economically. I could relate to most of these people that came in here today, most of the people who have experienced bad behavior from law enforcement. I've experienced those things. I haven't experienced those things on a serious level in Goldsboro, but in other states I have. Driving while being black. I've been pulled over numerous times. I've been ran through the system just for eating in a restaurant, pulled out, put in the street, in a lineup, illegal lineup, ran through the system, going from jail cell to jail cell before I saw a judge. Sitting in jail 23 hours or more each time I went through the system. So I understand the skin color that I have. But I'm so pleased and proud of seeing my white brothers and sisters that have joined this protest. It's not easy. It's not easy in the South when you have others that traditionally just didn't care for people of my skin color. I pray that we all reflect on this situation and we learn from it. I was disappointed when I heard that some business owners decided to protect their business with firearms, opposed to letting whatever is going to happen if someone damaged their property, let the insurance company take care of that. We're not law enforcement. If you're a merchant, a business owner, don't try to protect your property. We have law enforcement to do that. They're trained to carry guns. To the young people, last night me and Brandy, we interacted with young people. Most of them were really peaceful. Most of them just wanted to see a change for the better. There was others that were horrified by what they saw, and they were ready to lash out, and it wasn't in a positive way. But that's why we need our mentors to be marching right along with them. We need our elders to march right along with them, because they're the ones that can talk to them. Come here, young man. Can put them under their wing and tell them it's a better way. So I challenge our pastors, I challenge our elders to get involved. It's been too long where we haven't gotten involved. I saw a lot of spectators last night. They were videoing, but they weren't getting involved. They weren't saying anything to the young folks. The young folks are crying out. I thank God that no one got hurt. And I pray to God that we're going to change for the better this nation. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, sir. I got three quick things. One is I just want to remind everybody, if you haven't, please fill your census form out. We get money based off census, and it's very important that we do that. So if you haven't, please do that. Secondly, I just want to congratulate all the 2020 high school graduates. Nobody got to really do that this time, and I hate that for them. But it looks, a lot of people have been very innovative about how they do it. And I just had a lot of really good people graduate, and so I want to congratulate them and certainly wish them the best of luck in their future. And then going back to the protest, I just want to say one more time how appreciative we are that everybody has done this in a very professional and good manner. The question is, it's kind of what Todd says, how do you get it to the next step? Because if we don't get it to the next step, we hadn't done anything. And usually, I've seen it several times that we get to the door, but then we don't ever go through the door. So as a council, as a community, as a city, what is our next step going to be? And I do think that's a good question. So that's something we should be working on. Seeing nothing else, we stand adjourned. Thank you for